is the Trusted Referral Network. And we are a group, a membership organization of independent marketing and sales agencies and consultants. We have meetings once a week virtually like this one. We alternate between Tuesday evenings at 5 p.m. Eastern, and the following week is a Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. And that is so anybody who might have a standing meeting at one of those times can attend the other. We're here to help each other out, learn from each other, get to know one another, see if there are opportunities to collaborate, refer business, subcontract, do all that good stuff. And the idea behind having a marketing and sales focused network is that, like any other industry, there's lots of buzzwords. You have to understand the industry in order to be able to refer business. You have to understand what makes somebody unique, and what makes them different and their services different, so that you could potentially refer business or collaborate with them where you find you've got gaps in your own services, or you think there's complementary service opportunities. So becoming a member is as simple as being referred in by somebody, adding a listing. There's currently no fees. As I say, there will be sometime this year. I'm working on upgrading the platform, as I have been doing for a while. Shame on me, since that's my business. But I don't want to put anything out there prematurely. And everybody here benefits from the fact that I have not yet instituted dues.
I was going to say, take your time.
Take my time, yeah. But I think actually to some degree, you get more dedication when people are paying for their services. So that should bring in, I think, people who are more dedicated. Not that you guys are not, but we do have a number of people. Out of 180, you can see we have 15 or so that show up at a meeting. It does change, so it's more than just 15 regulars. We've probably got 50 or so people who circulate in. And we hope to expand and ultimately build chapters, either regional chapters or some other affinity. It could be an industry group, et cetera. At each of the meetings, we try to have somebody do a showcase where they can dig deeper into what they do, explain, go a little bit lower than the 50,000 foot level, so that people have a greater appreciation or can get a greater appreciation for their skills. Sometimes it is a tip, something that somebody learned that they want to share with others, as it is today. John Parsons from Intuideas is going to share something he's learned on managing video. Since he runs a video company, but this is all about things that we can do on Zoom. And as he is showing a foreground, you can see Intuideas, he's going to show you how to do that. And he's going to get 15 minutes. I will try to find my timer. Right now I'm going to use my phone. And if you've got questions, John, do you want to take questions during, after, in chat? You're on mute, by the way. You're on mute, John. John, you're on mute.
Did it again. I prefer not chat. Just break in with questions is fine. Watergate style.
Watergate style.
Whatever you want.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on. I'm going to
You want
give
us to
you.
be contentious then?
Sorry.
You want us to be contentious then?
If you want, if you're from the tri-state area, that's normal, right?
That's exactly right. All right, so you can.
What do you mean?
What do you mean there? All right.
Forget about it. Forget about it.
You can share your screen if you would like. I'm going to start the timer. If everybody, actually for this, I don't think you have to go on mute as long as he's sharing the screen. I'll put you on speaker. So actually, if everybody else would go on mute or be quiet, that way John's video will show up large until he puts on the screen, and then you can go off mute. Go ahead, John.
Okay. So hi, everybody. This has almost nothing to do with selling my business. I'll do a little commercial at the end, I guess. So everybody is familiar with Zoom backgrounds. I think you can do the same in Teams and Google Meet. Thomas and I tested this out this morning, and this works in Google. but I'm assuming it works in Teams. But backgrounds are kind of the poor man's green screen. You can put all kinds of fun stuff in the background, including your branding. But the problem with backgrounds is they do consume resources on your network and your computer, and they're not always done wisely. So what I'm about to share, I'm going to add the caveat. Think about why you're doing it as well as how, because it can be overdone, and I will show you how it can be overdone. I'm going to share. Second. Oh. So this is a software called OBS, Open Broadcasting System. It's free. In the chat, I've put the link to it, so I don't have to share it on screen. You can download it. It's useful for a lot of different things. We barely scratch the surface here. We use it for screen recording. So if we have something that's happening on a screen and we want to record that footage for use in a video, we use OBS usually. And people have used it for actual video mixing. You can stream from it. You can obviously record anything you have. You can have multiple cameras. So it is a poor man's broadcast tool. But what I use it for, what I have started to use it for, is to get rid of Zoom backgrounds because of their problems, and because everybody has one, it's not unique, and to try to use it for what you see over here. And I'm going to get awkward because I'm not mirroring this display, so I'm going to use the wrong hand several times to point to stuff. But this is an example of an overlay that is just in OBS. Now, the way this works is you download the software, you start it up for Windows or Mac or Linux if you have that kind of computer, and you'll see a whole bunch of controls that you'll probably never use unless you're in the video business. But one of them is sources. You can see over here, I have my Intuideas logo showing as the only available source. But I could change that to this, which is another branding thing with the QR code, which, as we discovered, was it last week? I showed one of these and nobody could read it because I was in thumbnail mode and people couldn't scan with their smartphones. So I thought, oh, I can do it again, different way, and do it so you can have a thumbnail version. But you're beginning to see the problem of why it's used, because right now I've just consumed a big portion of my screen. And if this is really important, if this QR code were really, really important in a Zoom meeting, I would probably just send the link. There wouldn't be a reason to put it on a screen. So you can do cool stuff with QR codes. And you notice that it has a semi-transparent background, so it doesn't completely block your field of view. And I'll show you how these are created. What you do is, let me hide that. There's a little plus button by all these sources. And what you do is create a new object, and I'll pick image. And then you simply select the image that you want to use. So if I have, I don't know, I'll just pick a general photograph. And everything you create in OBS, it first appears in the upper left corner, which is what's happened here. And for whatever reason, I can put this image where I want on the screen. This is not a terribly useful image for brand, but there it is. But as you can see, it takes away more screen real estate. Another thing that you can easily create is text. And if I create a block of text, let's just say it's a URL. And it too appears. I'll type some dummy text here. And there it is. It too appears in the upper left. I can edit this. I can reposition it. I can resize it, which is nice. I can change the font to bold. I can do a whole bunch of things. But the problem with it is, first of all, it's not a clickable link. That has no use other than to show people on the screen. And also it's white. You can't do it in anything other than white. So if I had a white shirt on, we're done. I'm going to get rid of that. But what it's really useful for, like I said before, is some kind of branding element that's subtle. ideally something like I did here with just a logo. What I did is I created this. I have this in our library, of course, and I created a transparent white version of it and saved it as a PNG file in Photoshop. Photoshop lets you do a whole host of things. This is a pretty simple one where I know I need some transparency, but excuse me, I need visibility. I showed the other QR code banner and more text. You can also show a website. So this is a URL to our homepage. And this is, again, takes up real estate. So you have to decide whether you want to share a screen in Zoom, or if this is an important thing to show, you can have this in a corner of the screen where you're not. I can enlarge this if I want to, but then the problem, of course, is no room for me. The other problem with showing a website is that this is not interactive. I cannot reach out and click any of these buttons. All I can see is, in this case, is a self-running background video. I can't play the demo reel. I can't do a whole series of things. Hide that. So another thing that is possible, but not necessarily the thing you always want to do, is you can have an image slideshow appear. So this is just a series of slides that appear in sequence, and you can vary the time between takes, but I can't control it like I can with a presentation. I can't click pause. Again, sharing a PowerPoint screen would be better for this, unless this is something you want to have as part of it. You want a rolling series of images next to you while you're speaking. And then I have to remember to stay out of the way, because if I'm going to point to it, I have to reach the wrong way around. It's not mirrored. Get rid of those. And then you can do things like titles. Something simple that I did. Got to erase or hide the first one. So this is another example of a brand that has information on it while you're speaking, while you're presenting. If you don't like that particular configuration, or if it's a different role, because I'm a ghostwriter as well, you can put a different one up. You can put one on a different side. These are all just Photoshop files or graphic files with transparency that I import by selecting the image control in OBS. Last thing I'm going to show you is you can get really silly with this and do chyrons, but they're all static. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to create a web object. If you wanted to make a real chyron, it'd be like CNBC with all this stuff happening on your screen around you. You could create a web feed that does something interactive, something continuously looping from a news source. But like chyrons on cable news, it gets distracting and annoying after a while. So you want to be careful in a Zoom meeting, because the key to having a good Zoom presentation is not pretending you're in broadcasting. That's the number one thing in a virtual meeting, where people think they're on television and they're not. They're in a room with a window to the person who's across the country, and they're just talking. So having stuff like this is possible doesn't mean you should do it. Mm-hmm. Like I said, all of these things can be created and more by just selecting the type of object that you want. I haven't even used a third of these, but this is one example of the things you can do in OBS. And I guess it's time for questions.
I have a question. Go ahead, Keith.
I just started playing around with Restream. How does this compare to Restream? Because I've seen in Restream that you can use this with Restream. Question number one, and I guess kind of observation number two is, now that tools like Restream can use Zoom as a studio, where you may not want to use this in a meeting like this, it's too showy. You have the capability of using Zoom now as your studio to stream out to all kinds of platforms, and I just don't understand how OBS fits into that picture.
Well, the thing I forgot to mention is that in order to do this, I'm going to share my screen again because I left out an important part. You notice on the right-hand side, there's a set of controls, including virtual camera. If I click this now, you wouldn't see me, because this is OBS sending out to the world. OBS is using my my webcam, and then if you start a virtual camera out of OBS, then when you go to Zoom, you don't pick your actual camera, you pick this virtual camera. So it's a two-step process of OBS doing the broadcasting with the overlays and then Zoom picking it up. So Keith, what you're talking about is something I've never experimented with, but yeah, you could do it that way by, because I haven't played with the streaming part where you stream from OBS. But if you start streaming from OBS and then go to this other software, I'm not sure, I'm quite sure I understand what you're
Well, so based on what you just pieced together, you could have somebody log into OBS and use that as your camera on Zoom. You have the overlays and branding. And then when that goes up to Restream, what Restream does is it basically takes the input and then it streams it out to multiple places at once, like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn Live. So but the thing is, what this allows you to do is let people use Zoom so they don't have to learn anything new. Just use this as your camera and we can get it out to LinkedIn Live and Instagram and Facebook all at one time from Zoom.
Right.
So it enhances.
The other thing that I didn't.
Sounds like it enhances the functionality of Zoom. Right. Got
it. Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to make somebody learn a new thing. It's here. Just go to Zoom and we'll get you set up.
Yeah, for sure. I don't doubt that Zoom's going to add something like this to do foregrounds for you. That'll probably happen next week. But what the other thing that you can do that I didn't show in the chat, I have a link to a tutorial I did on this. And one of the things you can do is have multiple cameras. So if you want to be a mini producer of a TV show, streaming TV show, you could have someone on OBS cutting to different cameras, the different sources. So you're on camera A, camera B. So you could do that and be streaming that either indirectly through Zoom or through some other channel. Consider OBS as like the starting point where you have all these elements that you can combine on a screen. You hit the virtual camera button, then it can go out. You're pulling from actual cameras and actual sources, but the output is the virtual camera that's going to whatever your destination is. Does that help? Because I agree. Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So I've in the past tried to learn Photoshop, but it's just too much effort for the amount of times I would use it. So I tend to use Paint and PowerPoint to hack things together, but I can't find a way to do a transparent PNG. Although I think it might be doable.
Somebody said Canva.
Canva might help. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you set up Canva correctly, Michael, it all of a sudden becomes so easy. I'd be happy to jump on and show you.
Yeah. Maybe I'll take you.
David,
I would need that. Let me tell you, Canva and I do not get along. So I would really appreciate it.
So I hear a showcase coming up, Keith.
John, or anyone. John, I have a quick question. I love the Adobe Fireworks for my ping in transparent images. I use it religiously. I love that program, but I can't find anywhere to I can't get that software anywhere.
They've discontinued it. That's why
I need that software. I wish I could find like an old copy.
This is part of the death of Flash. What happened when they murdered Flash? I mean, assassinated Flash.
Okay, that's all I.
Yeah.
You only have 34 seconds. We'll take one more question.
Oh, my commercial.
Sure.
I'm doing a promotional mailing for our interactive video offering. And if you put your physical mailing address in the chat, if I don't have it already, I'm going to send people a postcard with a QR code that talks about what I did in my showcase weeks and weeks ago, doing interactive video without a platform.
You want a physical, okay? You don't want an email.
Yeah, old school. We're sending out a postcard.
All right, that sounds good. Cool. Well, listen, thank you so much. That's the timer on both how do I shut it off? All right, there we go. Is it still ringing or did it stop? Okay, it stopped. Wonderful. So thank you so much, John. we have, let's see, how many of us? 3 by 5, 15 people. We have, we could do 2 minutes. All right, so I'm going to put in the chat the rest of the folks. John, if you want to go again and introduce yourself, I'll put you at the end. But this is the order more or less in which people showed up. If your name is not there, let me know. So we'll start with Joan Abraham, David Libby, Greg Markowitz. I'm going to use my timer for 2 minutes. If everybody would go on mute, I will go into the speaker mode so that the person who is speaking will show up. Obviously, the person who's speaking should not go on mute. And Joan Abraham, take it away.
Okay, I think today I'm going to promote my book. I just so you know, I come from content development, content production for social media content, online promotion, and the focus is really on entertainment more than the sell, but the sell is always part of the movie or video or whatever. And the name of the book is called Creating Brand Cool, Brand Distinction in the Online Environment. And it's a collection of my lectures, 25 years at Parsons, and my students bringing fabulous ideas to me and me teaching them strategic thinking. So the book is really filled with new ways of looking at content. And it's a fun read. It's written like a memoir, and it's available on Amazon. I should put the link in.
Yeah, do that.
That's
don't
all
forget, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody should put their address and their LinkedIn in the chat or email John with your address. You still have 52 seconds left. Do you want to talk about your VidBits?
Oh, well, in fact, if you give me your email addresses, if you put those in, I will put you on my email list. Michael, I assume you got an email on Friday. And we are just launching a new business where we came up with these, I call them VidBits. I've been working on them for years, but it's for daily social content. It's reasonably priced. We do 10, 30 to 45-second stories for $18,000 if you buy 1 month, or $10,000 a month if you buy 12 months. And it's designed to focus on the storytelling. It's episodic, about characters. So it really keeps the brand and the consumer engaged with the brand. And they're very cool. They're very young and hip. I have great talent working on these things. We manipulate a picture of the product image so you don't see what it is until the video is finished, and then we have the brand name. So it's a link directly to the product, even though we never talk about it. And it's really fun. And when it hits the marketplace, I think you'll want to tell all of your clients about it as content for social that's unique and distinctive.
Thank you, Joan. Okay, David Libby, then Greg. David, you're up.
All right. Thanks, Michael. Thanks so much, John, for that presentation about
Yes.
OBS. It's pretty awesome. I used that one and this one, which is Camo. I had Camo set up already, so I thought I would just, there's my Twitter handle if you want to follow me on Twitter, which is fun, and that is my brand name. So 2 Pins is a B2B tech marketing agency. We help amplify the value proposition of B2B tech PR, startups and mid-sized companies by using public relations and content writing. Okay, blah, blah, blah. That's what I do every day. Now, what I don't get is why aren't you folks reaching out to me? I have a network of 8,000 people. I'm all over the place. I'm, as you can tell, really always in a good mood, optimistic. I want to introduce people that I see, like you, every single week to people in my network. So I want to give you some homework. This week or next week, drop me a line on LinkedIn, look at my network, it's open, see if there's someone you want an introduction to. This is what we all need to be doing now because we're all talking about the recession. I will make an introduction. All you got to do is send me a paragraph on what you do. You're a trusted referral network person. I will refer you. And I'll refer you in your words. I'll add some of my words. And then there you go, off to the races. You can have that new relationship for yourself. And more people don't do this. I wish they would. I wish they would take advantage of this kind gesture. That's why we have these networks. We need to be networking. So enough of the lecture. It's a gift. Please open it, take it. I'm looking for more B2B tech clients in legal tech, cloud computing, big data, artificial intelligence, lots of experience, public relations and content for B2B tech. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you. And exactly, we should all be doing more of that. Okay, who's up next? So Greg Markowitz.
Well, I'll
Take it
start off
away.
real quick. Dave, I will make sure to reach out to you after this call. Let's connect for a one-to-one. So let's actually put some action behind those words. I appreciate that offer.
Thanks, Greg.
So Greg Markowitz, Breakthrough Digital. We specialize in both working with small businesses directly, helping them reach their goal. We don't really focus on what I like to call vanity metrics, clicks, impressions. I ask every person I sit down with, what is the goal of your marketing? Is it getting more leads? Is it getting more online sales? Is it making the phone ring? Because that's how you convert. You tell me from the get-go, and that's all we focus on in our month-to-month meetings. From a tactic perspective, we run SEM, paid ads, social advertising, programmatic display, YouTube. If it's digital outside of SEO and actual website design, we do it. We make, we don't shy away from working with the little guy. We have no minimum spends. We make $1 work like 10. The other side of our business is partnering directly with different marketing agencies and allowing them to white label our service and as their own. Provide them with a full dashboard with all the data they need. We'll brand it their way. And yeah, I'm looking forward to growing both types of partnerships in 2023.
Wow, that's I didn't realize that you do that white labeling. That's a very broad range of services to white label. So wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, and Greg also runs his own networking group, not just marketing, but it's called Beers and Leads, or Beers and Referrals.
Yeah, you know what? I got 20 seconds left. So anybody that's in the New Jersey area, Beers and Referrals is having an in-person open networking event at Hops in Morristown next Wednesday, the 1st at 6:30. Definitely come check it out. We have Thomas will be there. He's in our group as well. Known him a long time. I think Michael's going. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you. We have over 135 people registered so far.
Wonderful. Thought I'd registered, but I'll double check. Okay.
You did. No, Michael, you did it. I checked.
Okay.
I went through this the other day. I saw you.
Ron Idra, guest. Second
Yes,
time,
thank you.
Ron, right?
What's that?
It's the second time you've been here.
First actual meeting.
Okay.
You and I had a call the first time. So thank you. Hi to everybody. Would love to connect with everyone and follow up with everyone. David, I'd love to talk to you further, and also Greg. I am a consultancy called Media for Professionals based in New York. We do three things, basically, three general kind of areas. One is full website development for law firms, other professional services such as finance. I've had experience with hedge funds, VCs, private equity firms, as well as other industries such as tech and manufacturing, some real estate consultants, basically full web development, design development, content writing, strategizing, positioning, everything the client could want, or a specific deliverable. For example, modernizing a website, or coming up with better copy for an existing website. So either the full suite or specific deliverables. We also do marketing communications, especially for the hedge fund, VC area, investor pitch decks, sales decks as well, whatever kind of works best for the industry. It's very, very customized. And finally, the final kind of bucket is general branding and positioning and kind of more strategy work. And that's an area that does involve some market research. It's an area that I'm actively growing in the direction of LinkedIn advertising, but I'm happy to talk to whoever we can kind of work together, partner with, to, either pitch to, big law firms or, tech startups or, growing technology companies or any other industry that people want to explore. So
Good timing, right on the nose there. Thank you, and welcome to your first meeting. Let's see, Rochelle Lisner.
Well, hello, everyone. It's Rochelle from Dynamic Business Growth. And let me tell you, I always say it's dynamic business growth and not schlep along business growth. And what do I find? I find the companies really have a hard time explaining what they do. They have a hard time talking about their business. Very often they're boring, dull, long-winded, common. And those are only some of the issues that I sort of work with. So I always say, when you talk about your business, I want to know, how do you pull a rabbit out of a hat? What is your high-level thinking? And I say, do you story tell or boring tell? And so many companies, unfortunately, they boring tell. They lump themselves in with everybody else in their field, in their lane, and you can't distinguish one from the next. So I have a program called Ultimate Power Pitch, go from unclear to unforgettable. And if and this is great in, like legal is another area. They all sound alike. You can't distinguish one from the other. Banking, oh my God. I mean, can you get more boring than banking? Sometimes and insurance, I think, is the worst. I mean, they're the worst. So if anybody has insomnia, you only have to listen to an insurance broker talk about his services, and you'll be out cold. So if you know people that really do need to make an impact, they do need to be able to tell an effective story. And that's very key in terms of positioning and for getting money. If you're looking for investment dollars, I'd love to have a conversation and reach out. And I had a great talk with Keith, and thank you, Keith. I thought we really, we had a good one-on-one that time. So thank you for that.
Yeah, Keith mentioned it in the last meeting. Said you were great. Recommended you highly.
I did, and I'm going to do the pitch again, Rachel. Rochelle.
Rochelle.
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Tom Clark, take it away.
All right, how's everybody going? It's been a while since I've been here. Actually, this is my first Tuesday night meeting, so it's good to see some new faces or some other ones from the other meeting. But yeah, so my name is Thomas. I run a small company called Lasso. We are primarily focused with working on video and photo production for other businesses. So, and what I like to say is we can pretty much take on any video need. Besides animation, we don't really touch that too much. So a lot of what we do is either, going on location, we're either doing interviews, we're doing product, food videos, we're doing training videos, testimonial videos. So kind of across the board, like I said, we take on pretty much any video related need. We work I'm located here in New Jersey, but kind of in this Northeast area. And of course, internationally, if the need needs that. And then typically who I work with, it's either directly with a small, medium-sized business, or I also work with marketing agencies, PR firms, et cetera, that just need that extra hand to help their clients serve their needs. So that's pretty much it. And just wanted to also give a shout out, since Greg mentioned the networking meeting here in Morristown. Would definitely recommend, if you're local, to make it out. There's always a really great group of people that show up, and I expect nothing less for this one. So I think it should be a good time to do a lot of in-person networking.
And the beers at that place are really good. So there's plenty of room. All right.
I told them to stock up extra for next Wednesday.
They should double the kegs. Okay. Yeah, they got good stuff on tap. That was Tom. Faith Tomases. I'll never get it right. It's one or the other. Faith, you there? Are you still with us?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. My name is Faith Tomases, or Tomases, depending on what mood I'm in. I am speaking to you. I look so dramatic tonight because I am in a phone booth at a WeWork space and the overhead light is not working. For those of you who were here last week, I was calling you from my garage in Wilmington, Delaware, where there was no Corvette. So business hasn't been that good. I am a writer, copywriter, primarily business to business, and my expertise is really getting to the point and saying things as quickly and efficiently as possible. Therefore, I have a very large business in name development. I also get involved in brand strategy planning and consumer interviews, customer interviews, trying to identify what the problem is and generate a strategy from that. I work independently with companies and as a subcontractor to other firms, design firms, consultancies, etc. So I look forward to linking with those of you that are in parallel businesses, and I'll reach out eventually. And that's the gist of it. So if you want to think of me, I'm the lady that doesn't own a Corvette.
But you're still in Wilmington in the garage. Okay. Did you move out of New York City?
I go back and forth.
Okay.
I stay in New York till I get claustrophobic, and then I go to Delaware till I get nudgy.
Right.
So I go back and forth, and I'm not sure which clothes are where.
And there's no classified documents in your garage in Wilmington, I hope?
That's a serious problem, not knowing what clothes are where. In my
All right, let's
Especially
move
the day
on.
it was 9 degrees, and I was hoping my winter coat was in the closet of the place I was in.
Kat Kreiger, you're up.
Hey everybody, I'm Kat. My company is called Radical Customer Experience. I play in sort of a subset of diversity, equity, and inclusion and marketing, sort of where they intersect, specifically in helping companies build trauma-informed workplaces and produce trauma-informed marketing. Why? What does that mean, you ask? Well, in fact, I can tell you that over 70% of people have experienced at least one major traumatic event in their lives, and likely more than that. And as I'm sure you all know, we are just one whole human, not a work human and a home human. So having that understanding can really be critical in business, reducing turnover, connecting with your customers better. I could go on and on. And just a quick shout out, I am working on a DEI event in April for CMO, CEOs, and Chief Diversity Officers called Bridge. It's at wearebridge.org. And if you have any clients that might be interested in that, definitely drop me a line.
Okay, you're working on producing it?
Yes, yeah, I'm doing the event programming, and it's like not exactly RCX, but with my people.
All right, good. Thank you so much. And this is your second meeting, right?
It is.
I think so. Okay, good. Moving on. Mark Herre. You're on mute. I put everybody on mute because there was some interference, so come off mute. Yeah.
Mark Herre here. After this meeting, I plan to whisk my daughter to her soccer practice, then to her diving practice, where she'll be doing 5-meter dives, and then trying to get dad to do some 5-meter dives, and that's crazy. So if you ever want to have fun in Salt Lake City, come out and visit with me. I do SEO for SEO companies, and I call myself a white label SEO partner that gets behind the scenes and makes a digital marketer look good. I offer 30-day trials on every website that deserves to be on the first page of Google. And I've called that for the last 20 years, no rank, no pay. The focus in no rank, no pay is to basically make the digital marketer grow their business. They can grow their business with a good vendor and a partner, a wingman, however you want to call it, that puts his money where his mouth is and gets the job done. The model of performance-based SEO means a lot to different people. I asked the other day what performance-based SEO meant to someone, and it was a digital marketer. And he thought, oh, well, that means when I make $10,000 for this client, you get a percentage of it. No, that's not what it means. I do 30-day trials, and then the vendor collects $10,000 and only pays me $300. So I can be very affordable and work on those kinds of budgets. And that's basically all I have to say. Any questions?
Yeah, you got 21 seconds
5
left.
meter dives. Who's ever done a 5 meter dive before?
No, thanks. 5 meters, that's times 15 feet, 16 feet. It's okay. I'll pass. All right, moving on. Thank you. Yeah, enjoy the diving. Roger Brooks, take it away.
Well, thank you, Michael. Well, most importantly, just in case you guys haven't heard, they found top secret documents at Mike Pence's house, just to keep everybody updated. I heard couple of people doing some consumer research and market research, which is great. So that's an immediate catch my attention deal. I've been in primary research for about 25 years. I've transitioned out of the corporate world a little over 2 years ago. So I'm trying to basically transmit my expertise in market research to small businesses, startups, nonprofits, and my true passion is the wine industry. So that's kind of what my target marketing is. So one of the reasons I joined this group, and I've really enjoyed getting connected with David, of course, is to develop partnerships, because my key clients over time have been in the branding and product development area. So for example, when I was at YouTube, my key client was a product team. When I was at LinkedIn, my key client was the worldwide brand team. So the technology, digital, and social media space is a place where I've played in for quite a long time. But as an independent consultant, I'm shifting gears to kind of the small players.
Great. And you're in, where are you based?
I'm on the left coast up in Marin.
Marin County, that's right.
But
I knew it was from your area. Yes.
Nice.
All right. Thank you so much, Roger. Moving on. Gary Heymann.
Yes, wonderful to see new faces and see some old ones as well. I'm the co-founder of Edgy Labs. It's a white glove boutique enterprise level SEO group. Our clients are like British Petroleum, Toyota, large companies like that. And then what we actually did in servicing those brands for about 7 years is we had to build automation and intelligence to be able to do it quicker and easier. And we built a AI content marketing platform. And what I want to do today is just really quickly show it to you. Is it going to let me share, Michael?
It should.
Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Awesome. So this is inkforall.com. This is a full-scale platform. We have about 900,000 users on the platform. Everybody's talking and hearing about ChatGPT. This is a tool that you can use that will do a lot of similar things, but we have a content guard and patents around understanding what Google wants to see to make sure that your content is not going to be labeled as spam and red flagged by Google. And what I thought would be the easiest thing is, let me just show you quickly how it works. So what I did a little bit earlier, this is our AI writing assistant. I just went in here and said, ask Ink, what are the best networking tools in 2023? And then I added a little more context here. What are the best ways to network with the C-suite, with Fortune 500 companies for marketing? And then all you do is hit AI write. This is not preloaded or anything. And literally within a couple minutes, you can see it's writing multiple versions of articles. You then can cut and paste these articles, score them with our SEO scoring mechanism, and then publish them. So I know that there are a lot of content writers that have mentioned that they do this. This is something that can make your life quicker, easier, and more efficient from that standpoint. What I also want to do is I'm going to put some stuff here in in the chat a link to my LinkedIn, but I'm also going to put in a link to the website. Stop sharing. Did it stop sharing?
Inkforall.com. Yeah.
Yes. Stop sharing. We also have an affiliate program. Obviously, we're all here about trying to help each other generate revenue. We have an affiliate program. It's very simple. You sign up a client, you get 30% commission for life. That's it. It's a software.
It's a great program. I'm gonna have to cut you off because we're running out of time. Good. It's a really sophisticated AI tool. I encourage folks to check it out. It's very affordable. There's a free version.
Second that. I recommend it all the time. I used it until I've kind of used SEMrush just because I use it more, but I've recommended you for people who don't want SEMrush. So way to go, Gary.
Thank you.
Great product. Great product.
Ken Simon, take it away.
I'm an AI chatbot, so but anyway, I don't have a Corvette, but I do marketing consulting. I work with small and mid-sized companies, helping them understand who their customers are and what their needs are, and then develop the strategies for them to use to reach them, whether it be digital campaigns, marketing campaigns, content strategy, offline and online marketing. I work with companies usually in the financial services space, technology space, insurtech and fintech, and service-oriented companies. I've worked with manufacturers who got involved with AI. I think I once mentioned they use AI to identify birds by their sounds, and I've helped to drive sales to their website. Potentially working with a company involved with the space industry. So I work with a lot of different companies, helping them create awareness for their products and services. And I'm looking for companies that are looking that have issues with their products or issues with their marketing, don't know how to introduce a new product or service to the market, or are just starting out and need the help.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Time back.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we are running short on time, so I appreciate that. That was Ken. Spencer Gellman.
I can be brief. Sure. Good to meet everyone. Spencer, I run a performance marketing agency called Jane Creative. We basically leverage digital marketing tactics to help small to mid-sized companies, largely direct consumer products and services in the health and wellness, fashion, fitness space. The services that we offer are paid social, paid search, affiliate marketing, email marketing, and SEO. We also do a bit of brand identity development and website design development as well. Largely we're looking for our clients' Shopify platform, looking to just scale up their efforts. So if you know of any brands, obviously hit us up. I'm also interested in working with some of you who may be white label services, looking to work with an agency. So definitely some opportunities there. So good to meet everyone. Hope to connect offline.
Thank you so much, Spencer. Okay. And Spencer has a gorgeous large poodle called Noodles. He's getting on in age. Keith Reynolds.
Hello there. So I worked with Rochelle, and I am a marketing geek. I'm a chief marketing officer. Recently, I was tested and I was found positive for economics, finance, and technology, and I'm totally sick with those three things. So, or infected, and have been. I love working on geeky things and finding the story. I am working on a project. I'm going to drop in the chat. I've written a white paper, and I'd really appreciate your help in giving it a look. And if you like it, share it on LinkedIn. I'm sharing the LinkedIn. But did you know that in 2014, Mark Schaefer identified content shock and said that there's an infinite amount of content and a flat demand of people who can read content. It's pushing us all to create higher quality content. The question is, how do we define quality? You're seeing now in the Wall Street Journal, there's a call for performance out of marketing as the economic times are changing. And yet SCMrush identified that only 19% of companies have an advanced content strategy. So you're in a world where we're all awash in content and nobody has a strategy. And I've got a formula that I developed working with Kodak and Vodafone and IBM, and even learned some in my time at Apple on how to use demand generation to create content to get results. And I've got a book and a white paper, and I'm sharing that. And I would really appreciate you liking and sharing this if you agree. Otherwise, I have some information about the kind of work I do in the chat, and I appreciate being on this call, and would love to connect with anybody who's interested in content performance and getting CEOs to understand their content strategy.
Thank you so much, the content guru. Okay, Rajiv, you joined late, but are you still here? Rajiv.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Okay,
Sure.
so I'm gonna like mix it up a little bit tonight. So these are 3 things you probably didn't know about me. Number 1, as you can see in my Zoom background, I'm an assassin. Yes, I take out anything that needs to be taken out from the internet. Point number 2, I spoke at the United Nations. And as the consequence of doing that, the country of Malawi asked for my help to solve child homelessness. And that's an ongoing effort. Point number 3, I'm in the Guinness Book of Records. I did a campaign for Unilever where we created the world's largest online collaborative jigsaw puzzle. And that broke records for Lipton and got us into the Guinness Book of Records. That being said, if you want to do dope stuff, give me a call. I'll just leave it there.
Neat. I love the jigsaw puzzle thing. That stands out. I'd love to learn more about it.
Bravo.
Billy Atwell. Are you there? I know you joined a little late, but are you there?
He's on mute.
Billy, go off mute so you can tell everybody about yourself.
Sorry about that.
Go for it.
Yeah, sorry I was late. I am directing my first commercial, and so I was busy doing that. I know, sweet, right? I'll talk to you later, Rajiv. Yeah, so what I do is I turn failures into successes by removing my clients' obstacles and replacing them with very highly creative yet effective marketing and branding strategies and campaigns. Like I produced a podcast for the WHO's Fast Track Cities Initiative, which surrounds their HIV 90-90-90 target dates. So if you're interested in having me spread the good news about your brand, reach out. I'm Billy, aka the Savior of, Sexy A of Creative Studios, where I'm making you paper on the way to meet my maker. Sorry, I'm a little bit today. Thanks, sorry.
Sexy AF Creative Studios. That is bold. All right.
Wait, but I just have to say something. Billy has a moment left if I can use it.
Sure.
I'm going to book with you another presentation in my VidBits where Billy designed the presentation. So, and they're finished as opposed to not finished. So people get a totally different idea of them, but he's great.
Thank you. All right. I didn't miss anybody, did I? I think I get everybody except for myself. So I will go. My name is Michael Bendit. My core business is doing sales representation for software development teams. I have about a dozen teams. We do about 60 or 70% of our work is in the marketing world, which is why I do so much networking in the marketing world. We just focus on development. And therefore, we're really good partners with agencies that would rather not do the development work, or they don't have the skills in-house for a particular platform that the client brings to them. And they say, can you, redo our website on this platform? And they have no idea. So they come to me and they say, Michael, do you have a team who knows this, bizarre platform? And usually I can say yes. And I'm able to bring the skill set to the client. People mark us up. We don't know what they charge for our services. We tend to be very cost effective, particularly my dual shore or offshore teams. I do a lot of work with my dual shore teams because they bring that cost effectiveness, but not the headaches associated with working with an offshore team directly. My motto or my approach is very consultative. I have a client who is starting off with a new concept. or I should say a prospect, and she definitely needs a CTO. So I am connecting her with an organization called Fast CTO that brings in really experienced CTOs for 3-4 hours a week at very reasonable rates, something like $250 an hour, which for a CTO is very reasonable. Best leads for me are digital agencies that don't want to do the development or need extra capacity. So we're at the top of the hour. In fact, we're a minute over. Thank you so much for joining. We will be
Great
back.
meeting. Great meeting.
Don't forget, download the chat now. If you want to connect with somebody and you didn't get their name or something, let me know. I will connect you with them if you can remember something about them. Obviously, if you have somebody's company's name, that way you can look them up on trustref.net. Unfortunately, we don't have a lookup by first name or last name yet. That's coming in the new platform, but I am happy to help out. If you haven't added your LinkedIn to the chat, you should do so now, and I'll keep it open for a little bit longer. If you open the chat, on the bottom left now, as John Parsons pointed out, is 3 dots, and you could hit those 3 dots and save chat as the first menu item. So for those people on the West Coast, good afternoon. For those people on the East Coast, good evening. Grab your wine now. It's cocktail hour.
Amen.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much.
Thank
Great
you.
meeting.
Guys.
Bye, everybody.
Absolutely.
Everybody have a
Take care.
wonderful day. Thank you.
Yeah.